My daughter painted our family portrait with one person missing. That person disappeared yesterday. The painting was dated 3 weeks ago. My wife Natalie's face isn't in it, just an empty space where she should be standing. I found it this morning while searching Autumn's room for clues about where Natalie went. My hands won't stop shaking because I remember watching Autumn paint this portrait on a Saturday afternoon. Remember her humming while she worked. Remember asking why she left Mom out. She wasn't there, Autumn said without looking up from her canvas. She was 7. I thought she meant Natalie was at the grocery store. Police Detective Isaac Wallace is standing in my living room right now, holding the painting, asking me to explain why my daughter predicted my wife's disappearance 3 weeks before it happened. I don't have an answer that doesn't make me sound insane. Natalie vanished from our bedroom sometime between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. yesterday. Her phone, wallet, keys, all still on the nightstand. The sheets on her side of the bed were cold when I woke up, like she'd been gone for hours. Wallace's partner, Detective Mira Sullivan, is going through Autumn's other paintings. There are 17 more, all done in the past 6 months. In every single one, someone is missing. My brother Kent, absent from our Christmas painting. He died in January. My neighbor Douglas, erased from the block party scene. He had a heart attack in February. Autumn's teacher, Mrs. Beverly, missing from the classroom portrait. She was killed by a drunk driver in March. Autumn didn't paint them, and then they died. She painted them already gone. And then reality caught up to her artwork. Wallace wants to know if I understand how this looks, that my daughter might be involved somehow, might know something, or worse, that I might know something, and I'm using my daughter's paintings as some kind of sick cover. I tell him Autumn is at school right now, completely unaware her mother is missing, that we haven't told her yet because we thought Natalie would come home. Wallace says that was a mistake, says we should have called them immediately. But how do you explain to police that your wife vanished like smoke, that there's no forced entry, no signs of struggle, no note, no blood, nothing except an empty space in a painting from 3 weeks ago? Sullivan finds another painting. This one shows our backyard. The flower garden Natalie planted last spring is there, detailed and vibrant. But our shed is gone. Just grass where it should be. When did your daughter paint this? Sullivan holds it up. I checked the date. 2 weeks ago. The shed's still there, I say. Go check. Wallace follows me to the back door. We walk out together, and my stomach drops. The shed is gone. Not demolished, not moved. Just gone, like it never existed. The grass underneath is perfect. No dirt marks, no concrete pad, no indication anything was ever there. Wallace pulls out his phone, starts taking photos. Mr. Holloway, I need you to be very honest with me right now. What is happening here? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Autumn paints things, and then those things stop existing. People, objects, places. She removes them from her art, and they vanish from reality. Sullivan calls for backup. More units, she says. Crime scene techs, cadaver dogs, ground-penetrating radar. They're treating our yard like a crime scene because they think I buried Natalie where the shed used to be. But there's no shed. There was never a shed, according to reality now. Only according to photographs on my phone and memories in my head. I show Wallace the photos. Our shed, clearly visible in pictures from last week. Group photos from Autumn's birthday party showing the shed in the background. Wallace studies the images, looks at the grass, looks back at the images. This isn't possible, but it's happening. He asks to see more of Autumn's paintings. We go back inside, and Sullivan has found something that makes her face go pale. A painting dated yesterday. It shows our house, our street, our neighborhood. But our house is different. The second-floor window of our bedroom is missing. Just blank wall where the window should be. Wallace and I go upstairs. The window is still there. I can see outside, see the street, see everything. Relief floods through me. Your daughter must have made a mistake with this one, Wallace says. Then Sullivan's voice comes from downstairs, sharp with urgency. You need to see this. Now. We rush down. Sullivan is on her laptop, showing us satellite imagery of our neighborhood from Google Maps. The image is dated 3 days ago. Our house is clearly visible, and there's no window on the second-floor bedroom. The window that exists right now, that we just looked through, isn't in the satellite image. When was this image taken? I demand. Sullivan checks the metadata. 3 days ago, after Autumn painted the portrait without the window. So the window disappeared 3 days ago, but we still see it? Wallace is trying to understand. Or it never existed, but we remember it existing, Sullivan says slowly. She pulls up more photos, old real estate listings from when we bought the house 5 years ago. No bedroom window. Architectural plans from the original builder. No bedroom window. Every official record shows the window was never there, but my memory is crystal clear. I've looked out that window thousands of times. Wallace asks if I have any photos of the bedroom window. I scroll through my phone, find dozens of pictures taken from inside the bedroom, looking out the window. Selfies with Natalie in front of it. Autumn playing by it. The window is in every photo. Sullivan takes my phone, examines the images carefully. These photos show the window exists, but every external image, every public record, says it doesn't. How is that possible? I tell them about Autumn's other paintings, the ones where she changed small details. A tree in our front yard that's missing from a landscape she painted 4 months ago. That tree is gone now, but I remember it being there. I remember Autumn climbing it. I have photos of her in that tree. But if I show those photos to neighbors, they look at me confused and say, there was never a tree there. Wallace wants to bring Autumn in for questioning. I refuse. She's 7 years old and doesn't understand what's happening. As far as I know, she thinks she's just making art. Sullivan argues that Autumn might be the key to finding Natalie, that whatever process makes people disappear might be reversible if we understand how Autumn does it. You think my daughter is making people vanish? My voice is louder than I intend. I think your daughter is documenting things that are going to vanish, Sullivan says carefully, or predicting them, or somehow causing them through her art. We don't know yet, but every person missing from her paintings has disappeared from reality. The school calls. Autumn is having a medical emergency. We race to Lakewood Elementary, Wallace and Sullivan following in their unmarked car. The principal, Mrs. Ortega, meets us outside the nurse's office, her face drawn with concern. Autumn collapsed during art class. She was painting, and then she just stopped, fell out of her chair. The nurse, Claudia Torres, has Autumn lying on a cot. My daughter's eyes are open but unfocused, staring at nothing. Her right hand is still moving, fingers twitching like she's holding a brush. She won't respond to us, Torres says, but her vitals are stable. I've called for an ambulance. I kneel beside Autumn, take her hand. Her fingers are stained with paint, fresh watercolors. Autumn, honey, it's Dad. Can you hear me? Nothing. Her hand continues its phantom painting motion. Wallace notices first, points to Autumn's trembling fingers. She's still painting. Look at the pattern. The movements are deliberate, methodical, starting from the top, working down in careful strokes. Sullivan records it on her phone. What is she painting? Mrs. Ortega brings us Autumn's latest work from the art classroom. The painting is only half finished. It shows our family again. Me, Autumn, Natalie's empty space. But there's something new. A fourth figure, sketched in pencil, but not yet painted. The figure stands behind me, shadowy and indistinct, and where its face should be, Autumn has written 2 words in her careful child's handwriting. The eraser. The ambulance arrives. Paramedics examine Autumn but find nothing wrong. Her vitals are perfect. No signs of seizure or stroke or any medical explanation for her unresponsive state. They want to transport her to County Medical for evaluation. I ride with her, while Wallace and Sullivan follow. In the ambulance, Autumn's hand finally stops moving. Her eyes focus suddenly, lock onto mine. Daddy, I saw her. Her voice is small, frightened. Saw who, honey? Mommy. She's in the white place. The eraser took her there. Before I can ask what she means, Autumn's eyes roll back and she's gone again. Unresponsive, breathing, but not present. The paramedic checks her pupils, calls ahead to the hospital with updated status. At County Medical, they rush Autumn to pediatric ICU. Dr. Yosef Khoury takes charge, ordering an immediate CT scan, EEG, full neurological workup. Wallace and Sullivan wait while machines scan my daughter's brain for answers. Khoury calls me into his office 2 hours later, shows me the scan results. Mr. Holloway, your daughter's brain activity is unlike anything I've seen in 30 years of neurology. She's having what appears to be a continuous series of micro-seizures in her visual cortex, but they're not causing damage. They're creating something. He points to patterns in the EEG readout. These neural firing patterns are consistent with visual processing. Like her brain is actively viewing something, but not through her eyes. She's seeing something else. Somewhere else. Sullivan asks if this could be related to Autumn's paintings. Khoury doesn't understand the question until Wallace explains about the missing people, the changed reality, the predictions that come true. Khoury's professional skepticism battles with the evidence in front of him. You're suggesting this child is somehow altering reality through artwork? I'm suggesting we don't know what's happening, Wallace says carefully. But people are missing. Things are disappearing. And every disappearance corresponds to your patient's paintings. Khoury pulls up Autumn's MRI, points to a region in her occipital lobe. There's unusual activity here. Hyperconnectivity between the visual cortex and the hippocampus, where memories are processed. It's like she's not just seeing and remembering. She's doing something else. Something the scan can't quite capture. Sullivan's phone rings. She steps into the hallway to answer, comes back 2 minutes later looking shaken. We found something at your house, Mr. Holloway. In the basement. You need to come back with us right now. They won't tell me what they found, just that it's urgent and directly related to Natalie's disappearance. Khoury wants to keep Autumn overnight for observation. I'm torn between staying with my daughter and finding out what happened to my wife. Wallace makes the decision for me. Your daughter is in good hands here, but what we found might explain everything, and time matters. We leave Autumn in ICU, drive back to my house in tense silence. The sun is setting. My front yard is full of police vehicles, crime scene tape cordons off the property. Forensic techs in white suits are carrying equipment to and from the basement entrance. Wallace leads me down the basement stairs. The space has been transformed into something from a crime scene drama. Lights on, stands, numbered markers, cameras documenting every inch. Sullivan is standing in the corner that used to be my workshop. Used to be, because it's not there anymore. The entire corner of the basement is gone. Not demolished, just absent. Where my workbench and tools should be, there's now a smooth white wall. No seams, no paint line, no indication anything was ever there. We did ground-penetrating radar, Wallace says. The foundation doesn't show any signs of modification. As far as the structure is concerned, this wall has always been here. But I built that workshop. Spent 3 months installing the workbench, organizing tools, creating a space where I could work on projects. I have photos, receipts for materials, a dozen half-finished projects that were sitting on that workbench. Sullivan shows me a photograph. My basement, taken by the previous owners during the home inspection 5 years ago. The corner where my workshop should be is just a white wall. According to every record, this wall has always been here. But you remember building a workshop. I remember it vividly. Remember Natalie helping me paint the workbench. Remember Autumn playing with scrap wood while I installed shelves. All of those memories are real to me, but reality says they never happened. We found something else, Sullivan says. She leads me to the white wall, points to markings at floor level, small handprints in watercolor paint, child-sized. Your daughter was down here, recently, and she was painting. The handprints form a pattern along the wall. Red, blue, yellow, green. The primary colors Autumn uses in her artwork. Wallace has a theory. What if your daughter doesn't predict disappearances? What if she removes things from reality by painting them out? Like an eraser, removing mistakes from a picture. The implication hits me like cold water. Autumn didn't predict these disappearances. She caused them. Every person missing from her paintings, every object erased, removed from existence by her art. My 7-year-old daughter has been deleting reality. Sullivan finds Autumn's paint set in the basement, hidden behind the furnace, covered with a tarp. Did you know she had supplies down here? I didn't. Autumn does all her painting in her room or at school. Finding her materials hidden in the basement suggests she knew this was secret, knew she was doing something she shouldn't. Wallace bags the paint set as evidence. We need to understand the mechanism. How does a child alter reality by painting? Is it intention? Is it the physical act? Is there something in the paint itself? A forensic tech calls Wallace over. They've found something under UV light. Messages written on the white wall, invisible in normal light. Dozens of them, written in what looks like chalk or paint, all in Autumn's handwriting. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Please come back. I don't want to be the eraser. The messages repeat across the entire wall surface, layered over each other, written and rewritten. My daughter knew what she was doing, knew she was making people disappear, and she was trying to stop. Sullivan photographs every message. Mr. Holloway, we need to find where your daughter goes when she has these episodes. You said she mentioned the white place. Do you know what that means? I don't. Autumn has never mentioned it before. But the white wall, the white place, the messages pleading for people to come back, they form a pattern. Maybe Autumn can access wherever she sends things. Maybe that's where Natalie is. Corey calls. Autumn is awake and asking for me. We race back to the hospital. I run through ICU doors and find Autumn sitting up in bed, coloring with crayons the nurses gave her. She looks normal, healthy, like nothing happened. Daddy! She reaches for me and I hold her tight, feeling her small body trembling. I saw Mommy again. She's scared. The eraser won't let her leave. I ask Autumn to explain the eraser. She struggles to find words. It's the thing that takes away mistakes. When I paint something wrong, the eraser fixes it. But sometimes it takes away things I didn't mean to erase. Wallace and Sullivan are recording this conversation. Autumn doesn't seem to notice or care. How do you use the eraser, honey? I just paint what I see. And when something doesn't fit, when something feels wrong in the picture, the eraser takes it away. But I didn't want it to take Mommy. Mommy isn't a mistake. She starts crying. I tried to put her back in the painting, but once the eraser takes something, I can't paint it back. Sullivan kneels beside the bed. Autumn, where does the eraser take things? What's the white place? Autumn wipes her eyes. It's where all the erased things go. People and stuff that don't fit in the picture anymore. They're all there, waiting. But they can't leave unless the eraser lets them. Can you go there? Autumn nods. When I paint, I see it. I can walk around in the white place and look at all the things that got erased. That's where Mommy is now. Wallace and Sullivan exchange glances. This is beyond police procedure, beyond anything they're trained for. But Natalie is somewhere, and Autumn is the only one who can access that place. Corey interrupts. With all due respect, detectives, this child needs psychiatric evaluation, not interrogation. What you're asking her to describe isn't possible. But Autumn is already reaching for the crayons. I can show you. I can paint the way there. She starts drawing on the paper the nurses provided. Quick, confident strokes. She's drawing a door, a simple door in a white wall. As she draws, her eyes start to lose focus again. She's slipping back into that trance state, but this time she's still conscious, still drawing. The door takes shape. Detailed hinges, a brass doorknob, even a small window at the top. Autumn adds shadows, makes it look three-dimensional, real. This is the door to the white place, she says, but only I can open it. Her hand touches the paper door she just drew, and my daughter disappears. One moment she's sitting in the hospital bed, hand on the drawing. The next, she's just gone. The crayons fall to the floor. The paper flutters, but Autumn is nowhere. Wallace, Sullivan, Corey, and I stare at the empty bed. The monitors that were tracking Autumn's vitals are flatlined. Not because she's dead, because she's not there to monitor. The drawing remains. A door on a piece of paper, rendered in crayon by a 7-year-old. Corey picks it up carefully. This isn't possible. People don't vanish. This is a trick, cameras, misdirection. But Wallace checked the room before Autumn started drawing. No hidden exits, no trapdoors, no way out except through the door we're all standing in front of. Sullivan is already calling for backup. Hospital security, additional officers, anyone who can help search for a missing child who vanished into thin air. I grab the drawing from Corey, stare at the door Autumn drew. The doorknob looks so real, so tangible. Without thinking, I reach for it. My finger touches the paper. The hospital room tilts sideways. Colors drain away, replaced by endless white. I'm falling, but there's no ground. Floating, but there's no sky. Everything is white. Pure, blank, infinite white. And then I see them. My shed, standing alone in the whiteness. My workshop, complete with workbench and tools. The tree from our front yard, fully grown, leaves intact. All the things Autumn erased from reality are here, preserved perfectly in this white void. And walking toward me through the whiteness is Natalie. She looks exactly as she did the night she disappeared. Same pajamas, same confused expression. "David, how are you here?" I run to her, pull her into my arms. She's solid, real, not a ghost or memory. "Autumn brought me. She said you were in the white place." Natalie explains she woke up here yesterday. One moment she was in our bed, the next she was in this void with all the erased things. She's been walking through the whiteness ever since, looking for a way out. "There are others here too," she says. "Everyone and everything Autumn has erased. They're all wandering this place." We walk through the whiteness. In the distance, I see figures. My brother Kent, alive and confused. Neighbor Douglas, looking for his house. Mrs. Beverly, trying to understand what happened. All the people missing from Autumn's paintings are here, trapped in this white void. "How do we get out?" I ask. Natalie points. Through the whiteness, a door is materializing. The same door Autumn drew. That's the only exit, but something guards it. Autumn calls it the eraser. As if summoned by the name, a figure emerges from the whiteness ahead. Tall, indistinct, like a shadow without a light source. It moves with purpose, gliding rather than walking. The eraser is not human. Never was. Something else. Something that Autumn's gift accidentally connected with. "It keeps everything here," Natalie whispers. "Won't let anything leave. Says we're all mistakes that were corrected." The eraser approaches. Up close, I see it has no face, no features. Just a vaguely humanoid shape made of absence, of unreality. When it speaks, the voice comes from everywhere and nowhere. "You shouldn't be here. You weren't erased." I tell it I came for my wife and daughter. The eraser considers this. The girl is not here. The girl cannot be erased. She is the one who wields the power. But she lacks control. She creates mistakes that must be corrected. "My wife isn't a mistake," I say. "Neither are any of these people. They need to go back." The eraser moves closer. "Go back where? To a reality that no longer contains them? The paintings removed them from existence. There is nothing to return to." But Autumn said she tried to paint Natalie back. Tried to undo the erasure. The eraser stops moving. The girl attempted to reverse her work, but she cannot paint what she has already erased. The power does not work that way. What is removed stays removed. "Unless she paints something new," a voice says. Autumn materializes beside me, stepping out of the whiteness like she was always there. "I can't paint Mommy back into the old pictures, but I can paint a new picture with all of you in it. A picture where none of you were ever erased." The eraser turns its attention to Autumn. "That would require rewriting reality, creating a new timeline where the erasures never occurred. You lack the skill for such work, child." "But I have the power," Autumn says. "You told me that yourself. You said I'm the one who wields it. So let me use it." She's holding her hands out, and paint is forming in them. Not physical paint, but something else. Pure creative energy, the same force that removed people from existence. Autumn is molding it like clay, shaping it into a picture I can't quite see. The eraser watches. "If you attempt this, you will fracture reality further. The consequences are unknown. The consequence of doing nothing is everyone stays erased," Autumn says. She's painting in the air, broad strokes of color against whiteness, creating a new portrait, one that includes everyone. Wallace and Sullivan appear in the whiteness. They must have touched the drawing too. Behind them, more people emerge. Corey, nurses from the hospital, police officers who were in the room. Everyone who touched Autumn's door is being pulled into the white place. They see the erased people, the impossible void, and try to understand what's happening. Autumn continues painting. She's creating our family portrait again, but this time Natalie is included. Me, Natalie, Autumn, all together. But she's adding something new. All the erased people are returning to the portrait. Kent, Douglas, Mrs. Beverly, every person missing from her previous paintings. "I'm putting everyone back," Autumn says, "painting a new reality where no one was ever erased, where all of this was just a bad dream." The eraser moves to stop her. "You cannot unmake what has been done. The power demands balance. If you restore them all, something else must be removed to maintain equilibrium. Then remove me, Autumn says. The whiteness goes still. Even the eraser seems surprised. Remove me from the picture. Send me to the white place. Let everyone else go home. No! Natalie and I shout simultaneously, but Autumn is already adding a final stroke to her aerial painting. A figure standing alone, separate from the others. Herself, painted into the white place, erased from reality. The painting completes. Light floods the whiteness, so bright I have to close my eyes. When I open them, I'm standing in our living room. Natalie is beside me, wearing her pajamas, looking confused. David? What happened? I just had the strangest dream. She doesn't remember the white place. Doesn't remember being erased. I check my phone. It's yesterday morning, the day Natalie disappeared. Except she didn't disappear in this version of reality. She's here, solid and real. I run upstairs to Autumn's room. She's not there. The room is empty. Bed made. No sign anyone lives here. My heart drops. I check the closet under the bed, calling her name. Nothing. Natalie follows me upstairs. David, who are you looking for? Autumn, our daughter. She's 7 years old. She has brown hair. She paints, but Natalie is looking at me like I'm crazy. David, we don't have children. We've been trying for years. You know that. I run back to Autumn's room. Open her art supplies box. It's full of my old engineering sketches, not a child's paintings. The closet contains storage boxes, not little girl clothes. I pull out my phone, scroll through photos. Autumn isn't in any of them. Pictures of Natalie and me, our house, our friends. No daughter, no child. Autumn erased herself so completely that she never existed. Sullivan is calling. I answer in a daze. Mr. Holloway, we need you to come to the station. We have questions about a series of disappearances in your neighborhood. When I arrive, Wallace and Sullivan show me case files. Kent, Douglas, Mrs. Beverly, all reported missing over the past year. But in this timeline, they never disappeared. They're all alive, all home with their families. The cases are closed, marked as false reports or misunderstandings. We wanted to thank you for your help identifying the source of the confusion, Wallace says. Turns out there was a clerical error in our missing persons database. None of these people were actually missing. He has no memory of the white place, the eraser, Autumn's paintings. None of them do. Autumn rewrote reality so thoroughly that only I remember what happened. I drive to Lakewood Elementary, ask the principal, Mrs. Ortega, about Autumn Holloway. She checks her records. We don't have any students by that name enrolled, Mr. Holloway. Are you sure you have the right school? I show her a photo on my phone. Except the photo isn't there anymore. Autumn has been completely erased from this version of reality. I'm the only one who remembers she ever existed. The only one who knows my daughter sacrificed herself to save everyone else. At home, Natalie is worried about me. Says I've been acting strange, talking about a daughter we don't have, behaving like something terrible happened when everything is fine. She wants me to see a therapist. I agree because what else can I do? Dr. Helena Chase listens to my story with professional concern. Takes notes about the disappearances that didn't happen, the daughter who never existed, the white place where erased things go. She diagnoses me with elaborate delusions, possibly brought on by stress about our fertility struggles. Prescribes medication and weekly therapy sessions. But I know the truth. Autumn was real. The erasures happened. My daughter is trapped in the white place, alone with the eraser, paying the price for everyone else's restoration. I start researching online, looking for others who remember different versions of reality, people who insist they had siblings that no one else remembers, or remember places that never existed. I find a forum, dozens of people sharing stories eerily similar to mine. All of them have family members who vanished from reality itself, leaving them as the only ones who remember. One poster, username Painter Dad, describes a daughter who could alter reality through artwork, says she disappeared 3 months ago, erased herself to fix a mistake. He's been looking for a way to bring her back ever since. I message him immediately. We arrange to meet at a coffee shop downtown. He's in his 50s, looks exhausted and haunted, shows me photos on his phone that only he can see. A daughter who looks nothing like Autumn, but has the same gift. They can do it, he says. Children with this ability can erase and restore reality, but the power comes from somewhere else, something beyond our understanding, and it always demands balance. He spent 3 months trying to find his daughter in the white place. Says you can access it if you know how to look, if you have a strong enough connection to someone who was erased. You need something they created, artwork, in your daughter's case, something that still holds their creative energy. I remember Autumn's painting, the family portrait with Natalie missing. I left it at the house before everything changed. Race home, run to where I keep Autumn's artwork. The folder is there, but it's full of my old sketches. No trace of Autumn's paintings. They were erased too when she rewrote reality. But then I remember the basement, the white wall with Autumn's handprints. If that existed in the old timeline, maybe some trace remains in this one. I go down to the basement. The corner workshop isn't there in this timeline either. Just a white wall, exactly as the police found it before. I examine the wall under UV light. Nothing. The messages are gone. But at floor level, barely visible, there are faint marks. Not handprints, not paint, just impressions in the wall surface, like someone pressed their hands against wet paint, and the memory of that touch remained even after the paint was erased. I press my hands over those impressions, close my eyes, and I can feel her, Autumn, somewhere in the whiteness, calling for me. The connection is faint, distant, but real. Painter Dad taught me the technique. You have to want to see the white place more than you want to stay in reality. You have to be willing to risk erasure yourself to find them. I press harder against the wall, focusing on Autumn, on memories of her painting, her voice, her presence. The basement starts to fade, colors draining away, replaced by white. I'm back, standing in the infinite whiteness, surrounded by erased things. But something is different this time. The white place is emptier. Most of the people are gone, returned to reality. Only a few figures remain. Autumn is sitting cross-legged in the whiteness, paint supplies scattered around her. She looks up, sees me, and her face crumbles. Daddy, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to forget me like everyone else. I kneel beside her. I remember everything. You saved everyone, but you didn't have to erase yourself. The eraser said someone had to stay. Autumn says, balance. If everyone goes back, someone has to remain here. And I was the one who caused the problem, so I should be the one who fixes it. The eraser materializes nearby, watching us. The child chose wisely. Her sacrifice restored equilibrium. You should not have returned, David Holloway. You risk unmaking what she achieved. I'm not leaving without my daughter. Then you will both remain. The balance must be maintained. But Painter Dad said there might be another way. If someone with the power can erase and restore, then theoretically, they can choose what gets erased. Autumn, can you paint me back home? I already tried, she says. But the eraser won't let anyone leave without something staying to replace them. That's the rule. What if we erase something that isn't a person? I look around at the remaining objects. The shed, the workshop, the tree. All things Autumn removed from reality. What if you paint one of these things back and use it as the replacement? The eraser considers this. Objects are not equivalent to conscious beings. They do not satisfy the balance requirement. But what if we erase something bigger? Autumn says slowly. What if we erase the white place itself? Silence. Even the eraser seems caught off guard. The white place is necessary, it says. Without it, erased things have nowhere to exist. Reality would become unstable. Or reality would just be reality, Autumn says. Without a place for mistakes to hide. Without erasures at all. She starts painting again. Not a portrait this time. A landscape. Our world, complete and whole, with no white place, no void where erased things go. She's painting reality without the error, without the cosmic delete button. This cannot be done, the eraser says, but it sounds uncertain for the first time. Autumn keeps painting. You said I have the power. You said I wield it. So let me use it to fix everything. No more erasures. No more white place. No more taking people away. The painting grows, fills the whiteness with color. I see our house, our street, our world rebuilding itself. But this time, Autumn is in the picture. Right there beside Natalie and me, solid and permanent. If you unmake the white place, the erased things will have nowhere to return to, the eraser warns. They'll never existed at all. Good, Autumn says. They should never have been erased in the first place. Let them just stay real. The final stroke. Autumn adds the last detail to her painted world. A reality where the power to erase never existed. Where she's just a normal 7-year-old who likes to paint. Where I'm her father, and Natalie is her mother, and we're all together. The white place shatters. Not violently, just fades. Like a dream ending when you wake up. Reality floods back in, complete and whole. I'm standing in Autumn's bedroom. She's in her bed, asleep. Natalie is beside me, rubbing her eyes. David? What are you doing up so late? Just checking on her. I look at Autumn's walls, covered in paintings, dozens of them. Family portraits, landscapes, still lifes. All normal, all beautiful, all containing everyone and everything exactly as they should be. No erasures, no missing people, no white place. Autumn stirs, opens her eyes. Daddy, I had the weirdest dream. I could erase things just by painting them. But then I fixed it. Just a dream, honey. Go back to sleep. She does. And I stand there watching her breathe, knowing she saved everyone, including herself. The next morning is normal. Breakfast, school drop-off, work, all the ordinary rhythms of life. Kent calls to chat. Douglas waves from his yard. Mrs. Beverly emails about the school fundraiser. Everyone exists, solid and real, unaware they were ever erased. Natalie mentions she saw the strangest thing in the basement. Faint handprints on the white wall that she doesn't remember being there. I tell her it must have been Autumn playing with paint. She accepts this explanation. But I know the truth. Those handprints are the only remaining evidence of the white place, of Autumn's sacrifice, of a reality that existed where people could be erased. I find Painter Dad's forum one more time. His posts are gone. In fact, the entire forum is gone, deleted. Because in this reality, where the white place never existed, none of those people ever had family members disappear. Their stories never needed to be told. Autumn is in art class today. The teacher, Mrs. Beverly, says she's very talented. Natural gift for color and composition. Autumn comes home with a painting of our family. All three of us, complete and present. Do you like it, Daddy? I tell her it's perfect, because it is. Everyone is where they belong. I frame the painting and hang it in our living room. Reminder of what almost was, what could have been, and what ultimately is. Sometimes I catch Autumn staring at that painting with an expression I can't quite read, like she's remembering something just out of reach. Maybe a part of her knows what happened. Maybe some trace of the white place remains in her subconscious, but she never says anything, just keeps painting her normal, beautiful pictures that don't erase anyone or anything. Life continues. Normal, mundane, precious. I appreciate every moment with Natalie and Autumn, knowing how easily they could have been erased from my reality, how easily I could have lost them both to the white place. That night, Autumn calls me to her room, shows me her latest painting, a door in a white wall. My heart stops. Where did you get the idea for this, honey? I don't know. It just felt right. The door looks exactly like the one she drew to access the white place. But this door is different. It's closed, locked, painted shut. I think some doors should stay closed, Autumn says, even in paintings. She adds one final detail. A small sign on the door, written in her careful child's handwriting. Do not open. No erasers allowed. I hug her tight. My daughter, who saved reality itself, who chose everyone over herself, who found a way to close the door on erasure forever. The painting stays in her room. Reminder that some powers are too dangerous to use. Some doors shouldn't be opened. Some mistakes are learning moments rather than things to be deleted. Autumn grows up normal, becomes an artist, graduates college, creates beautiful work that never erases anyone from existence. The white place is gone, the eraser is gone, and reality is stable. But I keep that final painting, the closed door with its warning sign, hidden in my office where no one else sees it, just in case. Because Autumn may have painted the white place out of existence, may have locked the door on erasure, but some part of me worries it's still there, waiting, watching, ready to return if the door ever opens again. It's been 15 years since that night in the white place. Autumn is 22 now, teaching art to kids at the same elementary school she attended. She doesn't remember any of it, the erasures, the white place, her sacrifice. But sometimes she paints doors, always closed, always locked, always with that same warning. Do not open. Maybe the memory lives somewhere in her artist's instinct. Maybe it's just coincidence. Either way, the doors stay closed. Reality stays whole, and everyone I love remains exactly where they belong. Right here, present, permanent, real. If you made it this far, drop a like and subscribe. Some stories don't end. They just paint themselves into corners and wait for someone to add the final stroke. Thanks for watching.